Hello students, welcome to BTech 360. We have been looking at all the IITs in terms of the kind of prospects that they have, the kind of cutoff that you need to get into any of the IITs, the branches at which cutoffs you need, and also the placements that happen, the kind of companies that come in, the kind of average salaries. We're looking at all those things. In that series, we're going to cover IIT Mandi now, and we'll give you all the details about IIT Mandi in terms of the kind of branches that they offer, the kind of placements that happen, the kind of salaries you're likely to get, and what kind of cutoffs you need to get into any of those branches in IIT Mandi. Before I move further, if you're not subscribed to BTech 360, do it right now. It is in your own interest because we want to tell you every single thing in terms of data, information, we research for you so that you get into the best college based on your aptitude and merit and score and affordability and everything, right? And we also have created a comprehensive guidebook of all the IITs, including every single branch that they offer, the kind of placement that happen, the kind of cutoff you need at a branch level, at an IIT level. So if you want that, there is a link below. Click on that, register and download comprehensive guidebook. Moving up to IIT Mandi, we're talking about branch-wise cutoff, the placements, the median salary, the top recruiters, everything that you have. The overarching thing about IIT Mandi was it was established in 2009, which means 17 years old. It's an INA, of course, which is called an institution of national importance, which means that these institutions have greater autonomy from regulatory interference, and most importantly, they start creating courses that are in the need for the nation, which is why they're called institutions of national importance. All IITs are that. It's spread over 538 acres in Mandi. It's ranked 26th best engineering college in the country, public, private, all put together. It's ranked 26th best in the country. There are 1,345 students pursuing 4-year undergrad program, right? Of which 80% are boys and 20% are girls. And 98% students come from outside the state of where Mandi is. Now, we talk of placements. The placement we're talking about here is what is filed by IIT Mandi on an official affidavit. What it means is that this data is more authentic because when you sign it on an affidavit, you're more careful about misclaiming or misleading or anything like that. That's an assumption. I do know that quite a few people still do that even on an affidavit, right? But having said that, it is on an affidavit, so we're taking that data that's submitted to the government of India to a regulator on an affidavit. When we look at that data for 23-24, 293 students were admitted, 280 graduated, 196 were placed. So when you say 280 graduated and 196 were placed, typically we're talking of about 70% kind of a placement, right? But it's not the case. They claim 95% because they also claim that 73 students opted for higher studies. Now this, you must be very questioning this data because look at the previous years, there was only 24 and 25 students who opted for higher education. What happens is when you actually are unable to place students or when the students think that the offers are not good enough, they calling itself an opt-out form where the students are made to sign an opt-out form, which means that they say that they have not participated in placement because of which placement doesn't matter for them. So in this particular case, 73 students, it seems, said that they opted out of placement because they opted for higher studies, which for me is a question mark because if the placements are good, trust me, students do go for placement at a BTech level. It is not an ISR or a pure sciences program where people are very clear about the pathway of undergrad, postgrad, PhD and those kind of things. In BTech, typically people do go for placement or they start something on their own. But higher studies is very minimal in a certain sense. But here 73 students seem to be opting for placement, which is a question mark for me. If you have to do this 280 on 196, the placement is whatever 70% or something like that. But in a sense, because we're dealing with 73 students who declared that they've opted for higher studies, the institution claims that 95% students were placed. There's another data point that you must be looking at very carefully. The median salary, which was 22 lakhs in the previous year, has come down to 18.5 lakh. When you look at that, it's again about 17-18% drop. Right, which again is a question mark because when you actually have quite a bit of drop, as you see, 22 lakhs and 18.5 lakh, or 3.5 lakh kind of a drop on 22 lakh, which is a decent number if you will put that in perspective. So in my opinion, the placement dropped also and not 95% from 99 to 95%. It's fallen down to, my opinion, about 80%, if not 70%, because 10% genuinely would have actually opted for higher studies. But to assume 73 students opted for higher studies and to see this kind of a median salary fall is a big question mark. In my opinion, from the 73 also, a few of them would have been placed. But assuming you were to do that, though did not opt out for or they didn't claim that they have moved for higher studies, they might have actually been placed. But when you consider another 30 students being placed, then this median salary will fall down to 16 lakhs or something like that, which is where some of these institutions, what they do is they remove the bottom So the median salary moves up, which is what seemed to have happened in this case, because otherwise the dreaded thing that will happen is this 18.5 lakh would have fallen to 16 lakhs, which means we're looking at a 30 to 35% drop in median salary itself, which seems to happen as far as IIT Mandi is concerned. So I'm questioning the numbers openly. Now coming down to what are the highest and median salaries, if you look at it, the median salary for CSE was 24.6, average was 29.33. So now we're talking of branch wise, right? For DSE it is 21.49 versus 23.98. For electrical it's 16.41 versus and 19.91 average salary. For mechanical it's 14.49 and 14.46. So it is pretty close by. Obviously CS gets the highest, but between CS and mechanical, if you see, these 2x of mechanical is CS. That is what seems to be happening here. So very clearly, CS is ruling the roost as it happens everywhere. Right. Now, when you talk of these data sciences, remember that, data science engineering. So basically both are CS programs, both are in the same group. And this is, of course, core engineering and electrical is happening here, right? Now, what is the closing rank cutoff that you need for BTech CS in IIT Mandi? This category rank, remember that? Right, this category rank 3123, for general category is the JEE Advanced closing rank that you would get into BTech CSE in IIT Mandi. For EWS it was 527 category rank, OBC 1454 category rank, 767 for SC and 370 for ST category rank. For data sciences 3928, 722 for EWS, 1782 for OBC, 107 for SC and 525 for ST. BTech Mathematics and Computing, these are very good program. Please look at that. Next year I would assume that this will keep coming down, whereas this will keep going up because mathematics is very, very good in the age of AI. So 4285 category rank for general category, 614 for EWS, 1935 for OBC, 1329 for SC and 617 for ST. For microelectronics and VLSI, 6166 for open general category, 1006 for EWS, 2842 for OBC, 1503 for SC and 99 for ST. Electrical engineering 7590 for general category, 1134 for category rank for EWS, 3288 for OBC NCL, 1826 for SC and 907 for ST. Moving further, mechanical 10267 for general category. My request is take a snapshot of this. 10267 for mechanical, 11034 for general engineering, BTech engineering physics 12110. Civil engineering 14,274, material science 14368 and bioengineering 14879, and you also have the category ranks for all these things. Take a picture of this, is very important so that you exactly know what branch, what rank, what category rank will get you into any of these branches. This is how it will figure out. Now what are the companies that come for placement? Right from NVIDIA, which is a $1 trillion company, to Qualcomm, Texas Instruments, NXP Semiconductors, Samsung, ServiceNow, Walmart, Pocket FM, Skyrocket Aerospace, Robert Bosch, Nagaro. So you actually have consulting, merchant bankers, FMCG companies, tech companies. All these companies are there. So you actually have a very fair sprinkling of the kind of companies that come in for placement here. Now we looked at the data on LinkedIn, how many students claim that they studied in IIT Mandi and have been placed somewhere. There are 8,072 students who claim that they studied at IIT Mandi. And when we look at that data, in Microsoft, 59 are right now working. In Deloitte, 11 are right now working. EY, 4 are right now working. And Qualcomm, 34 are right now working, right? And total alumni, at some point in time, 173 students worked at Microsoft, of which 59 are right now working, which means the other 120 students would have worked there and moved on for better career prospects and moved out of the company also. Same thing with Deloitte, EY and Qualcomm. We also looked at the big tech companies, what we call the MAN companies, which is Meta, Apple, Amazon, Nvidia and Google, of how many students are right now working there and whether they actually go for placement. So Meta, 8 students are right now working in Meta who studied at IIT Mandi. 6 students of IIT Mandi are right now working in Apple, 74 are right now working in Amazon, Nvidia 3 students are working, and Google 50 students are working. So it's quite a big number if you look at it from that perspective. And 185 students at some point in time worked in Google, 225 at some point in time worked in Amazon, and so on and so forth. Nvidia 17 and so on and so forth. So very clearly, the students of IIT Mandi are finding a place of getting into any of these companies either through campus placement or otherwise, which is obviously the kind of quality of student that they have and the kind of skill set that they gain at IIT Mandi. We also looked at where are the students domiciled in terms of where are they right now living if they studied at IIT Mandi. 93% of the students are in India, right? 3% are in USA, 1% is in Germany, and 1% is in United Kingdom. So when you say 93%, 7% is around the world. of which 3 are in US, Germany and UK and all those kind of things. Of course, this being in Himachal, 24% students are right now in Himachal is what it claims, of which 14% are Mandi and those kind of things. But very clearly, the students of, and this is a very young institution, mind you, education institutions typically over 200-300 years is what they last. In the sense, is the kind of history of big institutions out there, not that they last, they keep lasting forever. So when you deal with that, this is a very, very baby institution. So to that extent, if 7% of the students are out or all over the world, it's a credible achievement at this point in time. Give it 20 more years, you'll actually see this number being 20% plus. So we'll keep covering a few other colleges for you. If you want me to cover any college that you want to know more about in terms of the how to get in, what are the placements, what are the kind of roles and all, please write to us in the message box here. We'll be happy to cover that for you. Thank you so much. Namaste.